it's an amazing thing, this thing called language, this love affair with words, which is much more consistent and faithful than any other love affair you have. But language, when you write, is always there. I do this with my friends who are novelists, right? You know, I tease them. Poetry is much more polite and much more giving, you know, and on many levels much more human, you know, that they will understand all the other things you have to do. You have to work, you know, you have to go and do a job, you have to travel, you have to, you know, wipe kids' noses, you know, you have to change diapers. They're very, and they'll look and watch you do that and just wait. The patience of poetry is something that is really, really wonderful. But once you produce some characters, quite often, they're not necessarily patient or polite. Or giving, or loving, right? They're amazing, you know, but they also are anxious to be finalized, and as a consequence, will quite often take you through some changes, right? I always say poetry is the most important genre, is the best genre, you know, of all the writings, because, you know, I quite often will find remnants of a poem in a desk drawer, and I look at it and I say, oh gosh, there, that's where I put that. You know, you lose a whole stanza, or you lose lines. But the thing about poetry is poetry will say, hey, yeah, you found me finally, now finish me. I mean, there's a pleasantness about the poetry. But if you're doing prose, if you're doing a novel, and you leave those characters for a minute, right? I mean, the way I have done sometimes and come back, what they do quite often is that then they will quite often say, where have you been? You know, you say, well, you know, I'm teaching full time. You know, I have a book that I'm finishing up. You know, I have to take the kids to school. I have to cook. You know, I'm a mother. You know, whatever. And the characters say, I don't care. And so you think you can just take those characters and put them right back in the box where you had them before? No, no, no. Because they say, no, I've changed. A poem won't do that to you. A poem won't say, I've changed. A poem will say, hi, you know, how are you doing? Oh, Sonia, so good seeing you. Yes, here I am. Here's all the material that you need. And here's some information. You were looking for this when you put me down. Here it is, and finish me. But a novel or a short story doesn't do that. So I found that out the hard way when I left a piece for about 2 years and came back to it. And the characters were rebellious. You know, they just very calmly gone on living, and had changed. And then I said things like, well, but I'm your creator. Right? You know, you can't do that, you know. I created you. And they look at you and laugh. They roll, they fall down on the floor laughing, as if, you know, that once you create us, we don't have our own separate lives from you. So it's fascinating, that thing called prose and that thing called poetry.